amazing. I love it.
Good morning, I'm Madeleine Lewis with ABC Hunter News. New South Wales paramedics and the state government are headed to the Industrial Relations Commission today over a long-running wages dispute. Around 2,000 paramedics are refusing to renew their professional registration in protest over failed pay negotiations. The matter is before the Commission in a compulsory conference this afternoon. Health Minister Ryan Parks says the 000 emergency system could collapse at the end of the year unless the matter is resolved.
We are, and we've made it clear that we are happy to continue the discussion around refining that and what that might look like. But we always have to understand that we are working just like any government, just like any family is, in a budgetary challenging position. And that's what we're doing.
Union Secretary Gerard Hayes says paramedics are looking for wage parity with Queensland. Police are investigating a trail bike crash in the Upper Hunter that killed a teenager and left a woman severely injured at the weekend. Police say a 17-year-old boy lost control of his bike and crashed into a guardrail at the intersection of Maitland and Thompson Streets in Muswellbrook on Saturday afternoon. Paramedics treated him at the scene, but he died in hospital a short time later. A 22-year-old woman who was also on the bike sustained multiple injuries and had surgery at John Hunter Hospital. A Long Jetty resident whose house was damaged by a dislodged roof in the violent storm at the weekend says he's thankful no one was hurt. Severe wind gusts hit the area on Saturday, bringing down trees and power lines. The roof from a local mechanic shop was ripped off and landed on the home of Stephen Maliaris. He says he was trapped for at least 3 hours at the back of his house before he was rescued.
It was very scary. I actually thought I was going to actually die, especially after when the roof had landed on my roof. I thought the whole house was just going to collapse on top of me. I'm alive. A house can get replaced. I'm a bit homeless right now. Yeah, but I'll be right.
A Hunter doctor and educator says the number of domestic violence victim survivors who are at risk of brain injury is shocking. A roundtable last week highlighted the need for further education on the issue, so symptoms aren't mistaken for PTSD, depression, anxiety or trauma. Dr. Alison Lancy says 20% of referrals from GPs to support services include a history of strangulation, which can lead to a brain injury. She says GPs are not traditionally good at identifying this in the context of domestic violence.
And so a lot of my work is about educating in primary care sector that this is happening. You need to remember to ask this question, but now we need to extend that now to our GPs and say, and now we need to be thinking about potential for brain injury too in someone that is experiencing a long history of domestic and family violence.
Farmers are being encouraged to give feedback as part of a Senate inquiry examining corporate powers on the price of food and groceries. A Senate committee on supermarket prices was established last week and will accept public submissions until February next year. Inquiry Chair Nick McKim says he wants to hear from rural and regional Australians ahead of the final report in early May.
This inquiry will visit places around Australia, so obviously there are differences in the supermarket sector in major capital cities as opposed to regional population centres, and also we want to hear from producers, including farmers.
In the Men's A-League, Newcastle coach Rob Stanton says he's proud of his side's effort over the weekend, but they're not getting ahead of themselves. The Jets had their biggest win of the season so far on Saturday, downing ladder leaders Wellington Phoenix 3-0. Young gun Clayton Taylor led the charge with a goal, while Apostolos Stamatolopoulos scored twice. Stanton says the win showed signs of a maturing side.
We learnt a few lessons and we grew a little bit more today, which is good, but we're not getting too excited. We know we're an inexperienced team, but we have belief. We go through our process, so we'll go back, restart again and look at things we did well and what we can improve on.
And in Women's A-League football, the Newcastle Jets went down to Sydney FC 1-0 after a late goal from Matilda's star Courtney Vine. A record crowd of more than 3,800 packed No. 2 Sports Ground yesterday afternoon to watch the match. Vine scored for Sydney in the 83rd minute, securing 3 points for the club. A mostly sunny day in the Hunter, the chance of a shower or thunderstorm inland this afternoon. High fire danger for the Greater Hunter. Newcastle heading for a top of 31 degrees, Maitland 35, Singleton 37, Scone heading for a top of 38 degrees.